They said that we'd grow out of it. Well, the joke's on them, that's just our brains. We're eccentric, loud, and stubborn, and most of our clothing is covered in stains. It's not a deficit of attention, there's just too much to think about. So if executive dysfunction becomes a little too much, if you forgot why you came in this room, or you're hypersensitive to touch, then put on your seamless socks and come join our little flock. Bitches stimming together, we're weirds of a feather, weirds of a feather.
We are ready for episode 10. This is exciting.
I know.
I feel like we've been doing this forever.
I know. It feels like this is our life now.
Episode 10. This is exciting.
Yay, we made it.
I feel like, I know it's only been a week. I feel like I haven't seen you in forever.
I know.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff has happened.
Yeah. You got a tattoo.
I did get a tattoo.
I'm proud of that tattoo.
It hurt a lot.
I don't have any tattoos, but I feel like I sympathize with your pain.
You don't know my pain.
I don't know your pain, but I can at least sympathize. I know that you're in pain.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I can't empathize, but I can sympathize. How about
You're
that?
right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I only sat for like 3.5 hours.
How do you sit still for that? Do you take breaks?
Yeah, you take like little breaks.
I'd have to like stand up every 5 minutes and just be like, oh my God.
It's one of those things where like
you're killing me.
It's kind of like a hyper focus where like you're in it, so you just want to stay in it and get as much done as you can.
Yeah.
So it's like while I am in pain the whole time and like want to take breaks, it's also like it hurts. So you take a break, go to the bathroom, get some water, come back, and it like hurts even fucking more when you get back. Also, what I was going to say about my tattoo, well, I'm going to say two things about my tattoo. One, I recently learned that in the neurotypical brain, apparently when a neurotypical person is being annoyed by a sensory input, whether it's like pain, temperature, itchy clothing, whatever.
Smells.
Yeah, smells. First of all, they're like not being as bombarded with it as we are, but also apparently their brain habituates to this sensory input over time. So it's like if, something is annoying to them, eventually their brain will stop recognizing it as something important enough to send a signal to them to, say, hey, you better think about this. Your tag is itching you. Mm-hmm. So they're able to just kind of like block it out. Mm-hmm. Whereas with neurodivergent brains, not only do we not become habituated by sensory input, but it actually escalates over time.
Oh, shit.
Which is like, come on, who designed that? But
it's even worse.
Yeah. So not only can we not just like ignore something that's bothering us, it's only going to get worse. So if a tag is bothering you, there is no just like blocking it out because your brain is constantly going to be like, hey, this is itchy, this is itchy, this is itchy. All day. It's never going to stop until you take care of the tag. So people who say, just get over it or just get used to it, it's like we literally cannot.
Can I give a gross, my interpretation of that?
Yes.
Okay. So you're in a room, you fart, smelly. It's a bad one. You ate your fiber. A neurotypical comes in and they're like, oh, what the hell? But then they get used to it pretty quickly. Neurodivergent comes in and they're like, what the fuck? And then they have to walk out because they can't handle it. Open a window. Lesson learned.
But also that smell dissipates over time.
Oh, very true. That's a bad example.
I guess it'd be like if you took a shit in the corner. A neurotypical would eventually habituate to that poop smell, and a neurodivergent would not.
I would say that's like one of the only examples where I would rather be the neurotypical.
You'd rather get used to the poop smell?
Other way. No, it would be a bad thing to be the neurotypical.
Yeah.
I don't want to live with shit.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't have many needs. I feel like I'm a pretty low maintenance person. No, that's a false statement. I feel like I don't ask for much. But I do.
No shit in the corner is one of your standards.
My apartment that's my bottom line.
I will not compromise on this boundary of no human shit in the corner of my house.
Before you come in, please read this notice. Do not shit on the floor.
I will smell it and I will continue to smell it.
Well,
all right. Well, anyways,
We need to start talking about our podcast.
Well, my other thing I wanted to say about tattoos, besides shit in the corner, I guess. Thanks for that cool analogy. I guess we couldn't just use shirt tags. But besides the habituation, so I just brought that up because the pain, my tattoo artist and I, Shiloh, were talking about that, how, I'm sure neurotypical people are probably better at sitting for a tattoo, I would think, than we are, because there is
because they can just physically sit still.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So they're already at an advantage.
I mean, obviously it still hurts. It's needles jabbing into your skin, but I don't know.
I can only imagine.
I would have to talk to a neurotypical with a tattoo. But while I was at my tattoo appointment...
This is 20 minutes later, this is what we were going to talk about.
Yes.
Continue.
Don't act like this is just me leading us off the rails. You're the one who started talking about farts and...
I'm sorry.
While I was at this tattoo appointment, so my tattoo artist was named Shiloh. She's awesome. She is 21, which is very young for a tattoo artist.
Can we link her Instagram?
Oh, yeah.
Will she allow us to do that?
No,
Maybe
I'll
you
ask
should
her. I'll
text
ask
her.
Yeah, but she does awesome work. So if you are in Maine, you should check her out. She does a lot of botanical stuff. Nice color, nice line work. I was sitting in the chair getting my tattoo, and the song Creep by TLC came on the radio.
Dun, 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 dun,
Creep. You know that one. You know the words.
Yeah. Got it. Nailed it.
Perfect.
Yep.
And so that song comes on, and then Shiloh goes, "Wait, isn't this that terrible song from the State Farm? From the State Farm commercial?" Well, in the commercial, they do a stupid parody of it, and it's garbage.
Yeah, they ruined the song.
Yeah, but so she had never once heard that song before until the State Farm commercial.
This is just this is like Bohemian Rhapsody. Everybody should just know it.
Yes. So I was instantly offended and felt old. And then the other tattoo artist, in the booth across from us, who was also Gen Z, she goes, "Wait, isn't this that song from the State Farm commercial?"
No,
and I was like, "What the
hell?
It's
Creep by TLC. Get it right.
You guys don't know
God.
the song." But it made me realize just how old we are. But it also made me realize that we've been talking about Body Double Dare, but people probably have no idea. Well, some people probably have no idea what Double Dare even is, if we have any Gen Zers
We did
listening.
some research today just to make sure we got it right, because it's been a couple years.
Yes.
Listen up, everybody.
We want to make sure we tell people what Double Dare is, so you get our Body Double Dare pun. Yes.
So Double Dare is a fantastic game show from the mid-90s, I would say. Mid-90s?
It was also the early 80s even, wasn't it?
Ooh, we'll have to look
early
it up.
80s. I mean, late 80s, early 90s.
I'm going on Wikipedia. Hold on.
It was one of the first Nickelodeon game shows on GaS.
Okay.
Yeah.
The first run had 482 episodes.
Holy shit.
1986 to 1993. And then 67 episodes in 2000, and then 61 episodes from 2018 to 2019. Where the fuck were we?
We could get onto Double Dare?
Son of a bitch. So 80s to 90s, late 80s to early 90s was the highlight of Double Dare. And it's a game show. It's kind of almost set up. What's that show?
Family Feud?
Family Feud style, where you have two competing teams. And don't mind my stutter.
I never do.
Two competing teams, and they're and you got to answer trivia, and it's rapid fire trivia. And if you don't know the answer, you can dare them. And if that other team doesn't know the answer, they can double dare you. And you can basically, you either have to answer the question or you do a physical challenge. And it's these crazy, whimsical challenges that usually require a lot of slime, which they call gack.
Gack.
And
that's very goopy show.
It's very goopy. Rewatching it, I was I didn't watch Double Dare too often because the gack is kind of triggering, and it's gross.
I was more of a Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Yeah, same. But yeah, so and then you get you got to run through these obstacles. You get covered in gack, and hopefully you win some money or some fun prizes like a boom box.
Ooh,
which if you don't know what a boom
clock
box,
radio.
A clock radio, a fun phone.
Oh yeah, those
that was an actual
phones.
that was an actual prize on the episode we just watched.
Yeah,
we do our research. But anyway, so that's the thing is Double Dare is this game show where you do tasks and obstacles and stuff, and then Body Double is when you have a person do that. So you're doing tasks with a friend. Body Double Dare. It's a pun. All
you get it,
right? I feel so old trying to explain this.
I know. I feel like a lot of people who listen probably know what Double Dare is, but that whole TLC moment made me realize, people don't get my references as much as I think they do.
You know what? We're taking an Instagram poll of what was your favorite Nickelodeon show. We've got Legends. We've got...
Well, let's do it's your favorite GaS Nickelodeon show, which is games and sports.
Okay. Double Dare.
Legends.
What was the other one?
Oh, Guts.
Guts
was with the crag, remember, where your team has to climb up this giant rock mountain, essentially, to get to the top.
On 3, we're going to say both of our favorites. Ready? 1.
Oh, wait, let me think.
This is an easy choice.
All right.
This is the easy choice.
Yeah, I feel like we're going to have the same choice.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Okay.
Obviously.
I just wanted to make sure we were still friends.
Yes. Well, I did like Guts, but Legends is just a legend, you know, classic.
But body double dares. Send us in your body double dares.
And let us know if you knew what Double Dare was before this.
Also, watch out on Instagram. We're going to have polls now. If I ever get my act together.
Yeah, maybe.
So now that we've got that out of the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have we even said what show this is or who we are?
No.
Jesus Christ.
20 minutes trying to explain Double Dare.
For no reason. No one asked us.
No one asked us, but
we wanted to. We were hyped up about the episode we watched before
about
this.
Your dog shitting on my floor.
It's all connected when you have non-linear thinking. These thoughts all flow together. It makes sense.
It totally makes sense.
We're following the conversation. Yeah. That's what matters.
Welcome to Weirds of a Feather, an ADHD-adjacent podcast.
Obviously.
45 minutes later.
Yep.
I'm your host, Kristen.
I am your host, Grace.
And we're here to talk about things.
This is a Nickelodeon-based podcast.
Where we only talk about Nickelodeon game shows from 1986 to 1993.
Very topical. The people love it.
Give the people what they want.
They're all up on our emails demanding we talk more about GaS.
Guys, I know you want to talk about magical thinking, but first, could you talk about Legends of the Hidden Temple?
I feel like it didn't get enough recognition in its time. All right, well, now that we've gotten our introductions out of the way, finally, it's the beginning of the year.
Yes, it is.
And everyone is setting goals and trying to make themselves a better person, apparently.
Yeah, I'm sick of it. Stay shitty, friends.
Maybe not the best advice, but I am here for it.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, ADHDers may have a particularly hard time sticking to goals.
What?
And saying the word particularly.
Yeah, that is a hard word. That's why I made you say that, because I have a stutter.
This can be due to many reasons, but what we want to focus on today is something called magical thinking.
Magical thinking, not like unicorns and butterflies, but a different kind of magical thinking.
Well, for starters, butterflies do exist in the real world. Not magical. Just a beautiful animal.
They're magical in my heart.
Yeah. You know what animal I always forget is not a made-up animal is narwhals.
Unicorns of the sea.
Yeah, because they look like unicorns, I always just assume that they're from Elf and nothing else.
Yeah. You know what? You haven't seen one in person, though. So until you see it with your own eyes.
It's not real.
And we could even get into philosophy of what was it, Descartes, who said, to be is to be perceived. So you only, you perceive a narwhal, so you believe it to be true.
Ooh, I do not perceive
I think that's Descartes. Someone
was a good
smarter.
quote.
Someone write in who's smarter than me about philosophical people, but yeah.
Claire, if you're listening, you have a PhD in philosophy. I know this
Isn't
is new information to you.
To be is to be perceived, and basically he says oh, no. You know what it is? It's to be perceived. So you perceive in our world, therefore it's real because you're perceiving it to be so.
I have not perceived a narwhal.
You only exist because I perceive you to be existed.
That doesn't sound right. Anyways.
Someone help me.
All right. Back to magical thinking. Sorry to bring up narwhals, which led to philosophy. You're technically correct about magical thinking. It is also known as delusional optimism.
Oh, that sounds worse.
Yeah. It's not great.
It sounds so much worse.
Yeah. It's kind of a harsh term, which is why I prefer magical thinking, but
you know what? I think magical thinking is the lesser of the two evils. They both sound bad.
Yeah. But
if someone told me I was a magical thinker, I'd be like, fuck you.
Oh, I am a magical thinker.
If someone else told me I had delusional optimism, I would probably cry.
I know, but I'm here to tell you that you do have delusional optimism. So start crying, sister.
Give me a moment.
it's hard to face the music, but we do tend to do this a lot. And this is kind of like the basis of a lot of our struggles with ADHD is this magical thinking. This is a phenomenon that a lot of ADHDers experience, and it can affect our ability to stick to timelines, goals, or to maintain our daily lives.
Ugh.
So before we get started, let's cite our references.
Let's cite them.
We have an article called I'll Do It Later by Pete Quilley. Talk about being called out.
Speaks to me on a personal level.
Yes. And what's our other resource?
A personal fave. Attitude Magazine.
Can you tell everyone about what you did, how you found this source?
I went on Google and I read Attitude Magazine.
Oh,
I
look
know.
who loves Attitude Magazine.
I did a thing.
Good job.
Instead of doing other things, but that's okay.
Whatever.
It's called Are You Time Blind? 12 Ways to Use Every Hour Effectively. And that's an intimidating title.
Yeah.
Every hour? How about most hours?
Let's start with like 1 hour. Let's use 1 hour effectively
use
a day.
Some hours effectively.
Yes.
And some not so much.
Yes.
Grace.
Yep.
Let me know if this sounds familiar. I'll have time tomorrow.
Yep.
I'll be there in 5 minutes.
Oh, story of my life.
I'll remember to do that.
I will not.
The 5-minute one, I had a bag at my old job. The wound care nurse specifically would text me being like, oh, I'm going to meet and do the wound care on this patient in 5 minutes, knowing I would show up in 15 minutes. And then she'd just get there in 15 minutes.
Smart. It's a workaround.
You know? And she would tell me about this. And I'm like, you don't really do that. And every time she would.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, at least she knows that.
Yeah.
That's, that's a
love
good
her.
way to meet in the middle.
Thanks, Sharon.
I know we're going to talk about this in a little bit, but now that I'm using timers to try to give myself a better understanding of time, I'm realizing that when I say I'll be there in 5 minutes, I'm not just like lying or trying to deceive someone. I also have no idea what 5 minutes is. Like I have zero concept of how long 5 minutes is.
I totally agree. I keep telling people at work this, they think I'm absolutely crazy. I was like, you could lock me in your room. No windows, no clocks. Would it be 5 days? Would it be 5 minutes? I would have no idea.
Yeah.
Literally no idea. And like before surgeries, usually the surgeon will be like, we're going to incision in 10. And I'm like,
just tell me.
Just say, get to the OR. You know, don't give me this 10-minute window. I'm never going to make it in time.
Yeah.
I'm trying to like reprogram myself to say, you know, when they say incision in 10, I get to just drop what I'm doing and like get to the OR because I'll get distracted with something on the way up there.
Well, part of the problem is also that we don't want to be bored. So we're like, I'm going to see how I can wait till the absolute last second I can before I have to start getting ready or start heading over to this thing. Because God forbid we waste a single second.
Right. And then, yes.
Even though we waste seconds all the time. We waste time all the time.
Oh, this is like really speaking to me.
All right, well, let's get into it because magical thinking is a great term to know. And we have some...
Even though it hurts.
Yes, we have to face the truth because this is the only way we can...
Face the magic. I hate myself.
All right, so our first article called I'll Do It Later by Pete Quilley. This is just like a short little article, so it's a really easy read. Check it out in the resources. All those examples that Kristen just gave of I'll be there in 5 minutes, I'll remember to do that. Pete Quilley says... this is calling me out so hard. These are lies that adults with ADHD tell themselves.
Oh, good.
We don't lie deliberately. We don't think that they're lies. We really do believe that we will do it later.
That's more of a delusion. If we really believe it, then it's not really a lie.
Like George Costanza says, it's not a lie if you believe it.
But I don't think we should be taking advice from George Costanza.
Yeah, he's a pretty sloppy boy. So it's like, it's not really a matter of lying. It's not like we're lying. Like we said, we're not trying to deceive someone because we would also be trying to deceive ourselves because often I tell myself that I'll remember to do that or I'll have time to do that tomorrow. I won't. But we're not trying to deceive someone. We have the best of intentions. We do really genuinely think that we're going to do this thing or want to do this thing. But what we struggle with is planning, motivating, and following through on what we want to do and getting it done. It's like we're just waiting for this magical day when we suddenly somehow feel like doing all these really boring, difficult tasks. And turns out that day does not come.
What?
Yeah.
What?
So I recently learned kind of a little bit about this that's related by this amazing woman, Dr. Tamara Rosier. She has a book called Your Brain's Not Broken, Strategies for Navigating Your Emotions and Life with ADHD. And she has this awesome analogy about butlers and angry neighbors.
So not an analogy about shitting on the floor.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, hers is a little more pleasant.
Okay. Well, that's great.
But she talks all about how, while yes, we do struggle with executive functioning in ADHD, which is your ability to plan tasks, organize tasks, prioritize, stay on track. All of those things are really difficult for many people with ADHD, but an even bigger problem is the emotions behind it. This analogy she came up with, which is great, is about the butler and the angry neighbor. She says that neurotypical brains, they have a stronger prefrontal cortex. The prefrontal cortex is where you do things like planning, prioritizing, figuring out what comes next. And so for neurotypical brains, it's like they have a butler that is their prefrontal cortex, and that butler organizes what they have to do, tells them what to do next, kind of keeps them on track.
Well, that's nice.
We with ADHD, our butlers suck. They're sloppy, they're messy, they don't really know what they're doing. And this is because we have smaller prefrontal cortexes than the neurotypical brain. So our butlers are just they're having a hard time. So because our butler isn't really able to motivate us and keep us on task, we kind of resort to using the angry neighbor to motivate us, which is the limbic system in this analogy.
So fuck you, limbic system.
I know. So the limbic system is the emotional center of the brain. So what we're doing is, because we don't have that butler to keep us on track, we're waiting for this angry neighbor to basically yell at us and shame us into doing this thing.
Okay.
Everyone else can do this.
Shit.
Why can't you? You better get going.
No, don't say I'm having a visceral reaction to all these things.
Because it's too accurate?
Yes.
So because we don't have that butler, we aren't motivating ourselves with logic. Essentially, we're waiting to feel like doing something, which that doesn't happen. We're not going to just wake up one day and feel like doing these really boring things. What we're going to do is wait for that anxiety and stress and shame to we're still using emotion to get us going, but it's not positive emotion. So we're kind of waiting to be yelled at, essentially, by our limbic system to get going. And that is not a good way to motivate ourselves.
No.
So with magical thinking, part of our problem is that the intention is there, but then we don't have that butler to help us figure out how to actually enact this plan, how to go forward with it, what to do first, what to do last, how to move through it. So we either wait for that magical day to feel like doing it, which never comes, or we wait for that anxiety and stress and shame to kick in and kind of get us to do it, which that can work for a lot of us, but it's not a great strategy, believe it or not. There are healthier ways to motivate yourself. So the more we can learn about this system, before even we learn about executive functioning, the more we can work on our emotional regulation, take away some of that shame from these tasks, the easier it'll be to actually follow through on getting ourselves to do these things. This book, Your Brain's Not Broken by Tamara Rosier, is an awesome resource to learn about some of this stuff if you want to check it out. It's next on our WOF reading list. So we will be reading that soon because she just has so many awesome things to say, and they all just hit very close to home. And then back to the article with old Petey Boy. He also says, the problem is that all the good intentions in the world are useless by themselves. People with ADHD, another too close to home. People with ADHD think that if we intend to do something, it will get done magically, and we don't have to plan to make it happen.
No, it's just gonna be created.
Yep. One day I'll just feel like doing this.
Yep. One day I'm going to just turn into a person who magically routinely checks their emails.
Yes. And can organize what tasks to do.
Wash their clothes and fold them on the same day.
Oh, who does that?
Monsters.
All right. So now that we have a little understanding of what magical thinking is and kind of how it impacts us, Kristen, do you have some tips for us? Yeah, let's hear it.
So like usual, I relate everything to myself. I would say, For me, most of my magical thinking relates to time blindness, time management, you name it. Basically, I'm consistently late. But I got some tips, and some of these are approved and suggested by Attitude Magazine, our favorite resource. And some of these are suggested by other reputable resources, and some are recommended by me that I have no evidence to back up. And some of these should be helpful and others not so much.
Great.
Yeah. So I guess you can figure out which one's going to work for you. Tip number 1. When you tell yourself these like little lies, delusions, whatever you want, if you catch yourself doing this, which is the hard part, you got to stop, take a step back, you got to get grounded and ask yourself, like, let's say the lie is, I'll do it later. When exactly is later? When is that going to be? How are you going to do that? How are you going to do that later? How will you remember to do that? You know, like, are you going to set an alarm? What's going to happen? And then what is the consequence or what's going to happen if you forget to do the thing? You gotta think of the facts here.
Can I add one more little part onto that?
Yep.
On top of asking what will happen if I forget to do this, also, it might be helpful to think of what are the positives going to be when I do this. So that way we're in that positive mindset of thinking, because we have difficulty thinking ahead of the future and remembering the positive emotions that come with accomplishing things. The more we can wire our brain to connect accomplishing a task with that positive emotion, the more likely we are to do it.
Nice.
So the more you can not just think of the consequences if you forget to do it, but also remind yourself of the positives that will happen once you're done with it. That's
it's a more positive way of going about this.
Yeah, associate that dopamine with getting tasks done.
Gotta get that dope.
Also, I guess who's got the dope? Kristen!
Not me!
Gotta get that dope. I also read that if you make yourself fake laugh while you're doing a task that you really don't want to do, that will rewire the brain to associate dopamine with doing this task.
God.
So just laugh like a lunatic whenever you're like doing something you hate, like, I don't know, filling out
If someone does
billing.
this, please, paying a bill, there goes all my money.
But the thing is, usually when you do this, you feel so dumb doing it. But then once you start doing it and fake laughing, you actually make yourself real laugh because it's so ridiculous that you start laughing for real. And that does associate dopamine with it. So that's a good little trick.
All right. Well, if someone wants to do that, please let us know.
Laugh to yourself.
Laugh to yourself.
Don't get locked up, though.
Yeah. I know. Someone's going to take you away.
Being on a 72-hour hold.
Yeah. Moving on.
What else you got?
Yeah. Besides laughing to yourself while paying your bills.
Yep.
Setting alarms. I do this all the time. I set multiple alarms. I set alarms with different sounds, which is a great idea because sometimes you can get, this happens in nursing a lot, alarm fatigue, where if something's beeping at you 24 hours a day, you're going to like ignore it. But that's like people in the ICU who are hooked up to ventilators. So that's like a little bit more important than like folding your clothes.
No, don't downplay it. They're equally important.
Okay. But anyway, different sounds. Get your Google Calendar out. We just talked about this. Set reminders on Google Calendar. They will email you if you check your emails or just text you. Sometimes you can do that. Ask a friend if they're willing and capable of remembering to remind you. That's the big thing. Make sure they're willing, because don't just like be like, hey, make me remember this.
Yeah, because then you're just looking for a mom.
Yep. Be your own mom.
Or pay someone to do it, but don't burden someone if they're not willing.
Yes. I have a time cube. You have a time cube. We bought time cubes together. Yeah. I love my time cube.
Me too.
You know what? It took me a second to figure out when was the appropriate place to use this. Sometimes I get stuck watching TV forever and ever and ever and ever and ever on the couch. And if I set my time cube for like an hour on the couch, I'm just going to shut that sucker off and then ignore it.
Same.
What I do use it for is in the morning, getting out of the house is always a really big struggle for me. So I set it. I keep resetting it and setting it for 15-minute increments. And that kind of just like makes me keep track. Like, oh, it's been 15 minutes. Oh, it's been another 15 minutes. So then I don't get distracted with whatever I get distracted with.
And you're also teaching yourself what is 15 minutes.
Yes.
So then you're kind of getting a better idea of how long 15 minutes is.
Yeah. And it's like a physical thing too, because you can set plenty of reminders on your phone, but it's just, I feel like having like a physical block there with the countdown. My only complaint is I wish the little clock countdown was bigger.
And then the other problem with using your phone is then you're on your phone, which means, you go to turn an alarm on or off, and then suddenly you're like researching gerbils and their origins.
You research chapstick ingredients. You could research the difference between llamas and alpacas. There's many.
Yeah. So the more you're
Which one has the better quality fur?
Let's look it up. No, I'm just kidding. I'll distract us. No, focus. But yeah.
I think it's alpacas.
The more
the llama people are going to come in and be like, fuck you.
Come at us, llama people.
I'm team alpaca.
Oh, I'm team llama all the way.
Are
llama,
you really?
llama, red pajama. No, I just like that book.
Oh.
Yeah, the more we can stay off of our phones, the better. Just taking away one more distraction.
Yes. Another tip is you have to frequently reassess your surroundings. It's just really hard because, once you're like stuck going through the motions of the day and you're like kind of like not on a schedule, but like you've got a plan and you're going through. But if something like distracts you from the plan, you need to like reassess and make the appropriate adjustments. For example, if I get stuck on watching raw food diet dogs, which is a thing that happened the other day, it's weird. These dogs are getting fed like better meals than I am. Also, raw food diet dogs, where the hell are you getting your quail eggs? Someone's going to recognize that, but everybody's got quail eggs on the raw diet for some reason, and I don't even...
You don't even have a dog.
I don't have a dog.
Why are you on this? What are you talking about? I'm not on this.
There's this thing where people feed their dogs like raw meat and stuff, and it's supposed to be better for your dog, but you have to like taper it accordingly, like transition them from the kibble. And like one of the popular things is giving them quail eggs or just eggs in general. But first of all, I thought a quail was a magical thing.
Just like narwhals. They don't exist.
So they're real.
I've seen a quail.
Have you?
They're so silly looking. Yeah, down in Arizona, they look like Quail Man. I mean, I guess Quail Man looks like a quail.
Quail Man is also a magical thing, so maybe that's why I thought...
quails are based on Quail Man. Didn't you know that? Quail Man actually came first.
But
here's another reference some people might not get. Quail
I'm
Man.
not explaining that one.
No. Either you know it or you don't.
You know it or you don't. So got stuck on a weird loop in TikTok, which is usual for me. But now all of a sudden I'm running 10 minutes late. I had to reassess myself and kind of think like, what am I going to change in my like morning routine? Because now I'm 10 minutes behind from what I thought I was going to be because I got stuck on TikTok. So basically I decided to not make a coffee run and make coffee at home.
That's a good point. I feel like some people, aka me, but other people too, instead of reassessing, I need to change my plan, we still try to make the plan happen. And then we get frustrated or annoyed or stressed or upset when the plan can't take place the way I want it to.
Right.
Because my whole schedule's thrown off.
Right.
So readjusting instead of like trying to force it anyways and then like being frustrated that there's traffic and now you're mad because I need to get to the coffee shop. When it's like, no, you did that to yourself. You know, reassess, change the plan a little bit, be flexible, be a flexible thinker.
Right, which is really hard to do. Yes. I don't think I'm a very flexible thinker sometimes, especially when it comes to like routines and stuff. But yeah, and then speaking of TikTok, avoid the time sucks. This is hard for anyone. TikTok, Instagrams. Sometimes I lose time putting on makeup because I like put on, I'm like, let me just do a little baby wing. And then it turns into a big wing and then I erase it all and then put on more. And then it's like this vicious cycle. But anyway, avoid those. Get a timer.
Yes.
Set yourself up for the day ahead. This one, if I can get my life together, I like to put my lunch together before because mornings are just a really big struggle for me. And so if I have my lunch together the night before, that's great. If I don't, I'm buying lunch. It's like one or the other. Get your bag before recording. The night before, I try to make sure my computer is near my bag and make sure I have my cord stuck in my bag to get down here because I'll forget one of the two, And then here's a tip just from me to you. This is get yourself an anxiety disorder.
No, do not do this.
It's not FDA approved, that's for sure. It's extremely effective. I can personally attest to this.
Well, what do we mean by effective?
It gets the job done. There's nothing like the crippling guilt of a generalized anxiety disorder to get you moving throughout the day, night, and basically you just don't sleep because you're worrying about all these tasks. It works.
So, yeah, technically, I guess within productivity and capitalism, yes, you can get stuff done.
Yeah.
Is that good for your body, mind, or spirit?
No, but is it good for capitalism? Absolutely.
Hell yeah. Anxiety for capitalism.
Yeah.
That's what we promote on this show.
Yep. But yeah, actually, anxiety really helps me get my stuff done. And I've chatted about this before. Now that I'm kind of improving that, everything else is kind of falling apart. Yay!
But
working on it.
You're removing that maladaptive strategy, aka the angry neighbor yelling at you.
Yeah.
So you were essentially
he was so angry.
You were relying on that angry, anxious neighbor to get you going.
Yeah.
And what you need is a butler.
I know. My butler sucks.
Yeah, my butler is not great. Also, in this analogy, she was saying that if you go on ADHD meds, it can be like kind of introducing a new butler, but he's a new butler. You would have to train him. You don't know how to train him. So he's not going to be nearly as good as a neurotypical who I guess was born with a fancy butler who went to butler school.
Man.
And even if you're on meds, your butler leaves early for the day because your meds wear off.
It's like 4:00. He's like, I'm out. You're like, the dishes aren't done. Fuck you.
I don't care. I got to get home to my family.
I've got a family to feed.
And then you eat Hot Pockets for dinner. Yeah. Because your butler went home early.
Hot Pocket.
Hot Pocket. Where are we?
Yeah.
That's a good strategy. Those are good strategies.
Yeah, except for the last one.
Yeah, that's not great.
It's not great, but
try to avoid anxiety. Yeah, as much as you can.
Yeah.
Speaking of time sucks with TikTok, I'm going to talk about a TikTok that was helpful for this, which is ironic.
I think our TikTok algorithms are wildly different.
They overlap in certain places where we've seen the exact same TikToks, but then you talk about raw food diet dogs. I have a dog. Yeah. And I'm not on that TikTok, so I don't get it. But this TikTok that I saw the other day, this guy he made a very good point. This is for anyone, but especially people who struggle with dopamine. If you go on your phone, and especially if you go on something like TikTok that gives you a lot of dopamine first thing in the morning, you are setting your brain up to receive its dopamine in that format. So if you wake up and you go on TikTok, you're giving your brain a huge rush of dopamine, which probably, wakes you up, gets you going for the day.
That's exactly what it does.
But now that is kind of the standard that your brain has for, all right, this is where we will seek our dopamine. Anything less exciting than this? No, I want dopamine from this source. Pretty much everything is less exciting than TikTok. It was designed very well to keep us addicted.
It's so addicting.
It's so addicting.
Oh, but you learn so much.
I know, but try to do it later in the day. If you're starting your day with it, now like work that was already boring to you to begin with, now you've started your day off with pretty much the most exciting dopamine source you're going to get. So then trying to sit down and do paperwork is going to be pretty much impossible. It's going to be so painful. So it's kind of like start your day off boring if your day has to continue to be boring, and then save that stuff for the end. Find some healthier dopamine sources for the beginning of your day that are going to start you off right. I know this is easier said than done, but I like to listen to podcasts in the morning. I'm not just saying that because we have a podcast that you should listen to in the morning, but listening
or
to
any time of day.
Yes. I find that listening to a podcast in the morning gives me dopamine, gets me going, but it's not like visually stimulating. And then I'm able to, do my makeup, do whatever, move around the house, get ready for the day while still listening. Yep. So I'm getting some dopamine without it just being like a total attention suck.
I think it depends. I listen to lots of things, either podcasts or music, but it depends on the day. If I need to I'm really going slow and need to pump myself up, I put on some nice fun music.
Nice.
And then if I'm having an okay day, I just put on a podcast. It depends. But yeah, those are great tips. Hope they help. Don't get an anxiety disorder. That was a joke. It was a joke.
Yes, try to avoid it if you can.
Yeah, avoid it if you can. Get help if you can't.
Many people with ADHD also have anxiety, just a heads up. But also anxiety can very much exist on its own.
Yeah, and it sucks, but there's lots of things out there to help you with it. It was a joke. And I can't emphasize that enough. You can't just go out and shop for anxiety disorders. It's not like you go to IKEA.
Oh, this has taken years and years of work. You've really put in the hours towards your anxiety disorder.
Starting from childhood. Laugh at my pain.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of pain, shall we transition? We are transitioning.
Ooh, angelic.
That's
transition.
Me. Whoa.
Boop, boop, boop. Transition.
It always just ends in us shouting.
It really does.
No matter how nice we make it.
We try.
We do try. This is us trying our best, unfortunately.
I did my best. Are you ready? Ready to get into this?
Little accomplishments, but big in our hearts.
Yay!
Yay!
We have a listener accomplishment.
Yes. My wonderful neighbor, Jana, who we have been talking about ADHD quite a bit, and she relates to pretty much everything we say.
She's suspected.
Yes, she's a suspected ADHDer.
She's
very suspicious.
Mad sus is what my nephews would say. I try to be
They're
cool.
much hipper than we are.
Yeah, well, no,
7
they're
years
homeschooled.
Yeah, they're lame as shit. So Jana says, "Hey, you two. I walked my dog this morning for her little accomplishment.
Woo!
Yay, good job."
Yeah.
I also struggle with that.
Yeah.
She says, "I'm trying to feel proud of myself rather than beating myself up for accomplishing such a, quote, easy task. Thanks for that change in perspective. Loving the podcast. You all are naturals."
Oh, thank you, Jana.
I know, thank you.
And that's exactly what little accomplishments is all about. Little things that, we do, but we should be proud of.
Yes. I really struggle to get out and walk my dog sometimes. I know that it'll make me feel better. I know that...
Especially in the cold.
I know.
This is why I only have cats.
Yeah. Transitioning into an uncomfortable task like that is so difficult for me. I know that exercise is good for everyone, but especially for ADHDers, it really sets us up with good dopamine for the day. Gotta get that dope. But you're right, Jana. It does seem like a simple thing to just walk the dog, but oh my God, there's some days where I just can't get myself and then I feel like glumpy all day is how I would describe it. It's a word I made up. But I am proud of you for walking the dog because that is not an easy task. That is a very difficult task to transition into something like that, especially when you live in Maine and it's cold as fuck outside.
It's so cold. And it's like snow and ice. It's like a hazard. You got to put crampons on, you know?
They have a baby.
Oh.
So I don't know how you manage to leave the house at all with a baby. I would just be so exhausted 24/7.
No.
So congratulations, Jana. We're very proud of your little accomplishment of walking the dog. Keep it up whenever you can.
Nice.
Yeah.
Proud of you.
Proud of you. All right, Chris,
I got a little accomplishment. I paid a bill and it wasn't on autopay because I have all my bills on autopay. And this one was not on autopay and it came in the mail like 4 times. And they're like, basically, it kind of reminds me of you because it was like, if you don't pay this bill by this date, it's going to get sent to a different company, basically a collections company.
I'm always like, they're bluffing. What the fuck is wrong?
Like after the 4th, mailed in letter, I go, I should probably pay this.
The first one is just
they're like really serious about this.
Oh, I guess they actually want me to pay this.
So, and the thing is, so I just want to say it was particularly hard because I had to set up a whole billing account.
Wow.
I know. I had to send them my email and stuff, but I did it. So,
good job.
Yeah.
That is tricky.
Boop, boop. Boop. Yeah. What's your little accomplishment?
Oh, so for mine this week, I am the producer of another ADHD podcast for someone else.
You're just a podcast pro.
I'm all about podcasting now. It's my new thing as of,
You're
June.
A podcaster for life.
Or until I move on to the next exciting thing.
Your next exciting. Yeah,
exactly. Gotta follow that dope. Mm-hmm. But the podcast that I produce for, part of my job is scheduling interview guests for the host of this show to interview different people. But scheduling for me is so difficult. It's a lot of thinking ahead, planning, getting started. I'm always like, I have a month to do this. And then boom, it's like the week before and I haven't scheduled anyone.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah. And then I'm also scheduling all other ADHDers. So the coordination of figuring out times and scheduling.
You gotta get your butlers in order.
I know. Yeah. We do have to get our butlers in order. I'm just picturing a bunch of them just bumping around each other and pantsing each other and climbing the walls. Our butlers are just
dropping dishes left and right.
This butler convention's a mess. Who's organizing this? But today, actually, I scheduled a few guests. I reached out to them for our next batch of recordings, which isn't for at least, I think, 4 weeks. So
Holy moly.
Yeah. So I started
forever from now.
I know, it's eons. Still a few weeks out and I started scheduling people and I normally really struggle with that. So I was pretty proud of myself.
Nice.
Yeah. For doing my job on time, I guess.
You know what? What did we just talk about? It's a little accomplishment,
You're right.
But we're proud of
You're
you.
Right. Thank you.
I'm proud of you. You should be proud of you.
I'm so proud of me.
Be proud of yourself.
I'm proud of myself.
Let me get hold on. I gotta just warm up my whistle here.
Oh, Does everyone hear that? That means it is time for I'm So Quirky.
Yay!
Some people call me spacey, some people call me fun, but I'm just quirky.
Oh, no,
Lucy's
no.
pissed.
Come on, you didn't... What happened? Last time you were totally fine with this.
I know. Go lay down, buddy.
Go lay down.
I know, you're stressed.
It's just a kazoo, man.
My sworn enemy.
Grace, why don't you share your quirks?
All right, here are a few of my quirks.
Yep.
1, sometimes I will go to pause a podcast that I think I'm listening to so I can focus on a thought that I'm having, and then I will realize that there's not anything playing and I'm in total silence and the noise is just in my brain. I do it all the time.
That's really funny.
Like, oh, I better pause this so I can focus.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's been like 4 hours of just your brain thoughts.
Yes, I'm in silence and that noise is just in my head. There's no way to pause that. 2, I cannot blow dry my hair with the door open. It's like a big fear of mine. I think
What do you think is someone's gonna steal your hair dryer?
No, I'm scared someone will startle me. I don't like to be startled. And if I have the hairdryer going, I can't hear my surroundings. I'm like on a high alert all the time. So I if I'm drying my hair,
Yeah.
I can't really hear things.
Have you had like a past experience by someone like scaring you with your whole...
Probably. I don't like to be startled. I'm very easily startled.
Oh,
And I don't like it.
like a
So
horse.
stop it. Stop it, everyone. Stop startling me while I'm drying my hair. And then 3, I had a recovered memory of this the other day because I dropped my phone in the snow. And I remembered back in high school, I had lost my cell phone, which was probably like a Nokia brick
Oh yeah.
or a BlackBerry or whatever. I lost one
This
phone.
is another thing that Gen Zers are going to be like, what the fuck is that?
Snake. You ever heard of it?
Yeah, look it up. Can't keep explaining
T9
these.
texting.
Yeah. Calculators, TI-86.
No. Different topic.
Parallelogram.
Yes, that is a word.
Parabola.
Shh. It's not like a generational specific word. Oh, parabolas were phased out in the 90s.
Yeah. We don't have those anymore.
Yeah. Oh, PEMDAS? No, we
Yeah.
haven't used that in years. There hasn't been a PEMDAS around here in 100 years. Yeah, actually, you're right.
Yeah.
Do they have PEMDAS in New Math?
I think so.
Get back to me, math heads, mathletes. But anyways, I remembered that I had lost one cell phone in a snowbank when I was in high school. And so my mom let me use her cell phone because I lost mine. And then I also lost that phone in a snowbank within the same month. And then the spring came and the snow melted and both phones were in the street, crushed up and ruined.
Wait, didn't one work?
Oh yeah, I think one did work. The Nokia.
We that thing was indestructible.
Yes.
We like put it in ice for. I remember because I remember finding it, and then we put it in ice rice for
I was
a
gonna
week.
say, it's been in ice.
It wasn't
It
ice.
doesn't need more ice.
Freeze your phone, guys.
Yes, it'll work.
Yep.
Yeah. So one, I totally forgot that one had survived, but the other was like all crushed up by a car.
6 months of ice.
Yep.
And salt.
Yep.
And cold.
Nokias were indestructible.
Literally indestructible.
This episode is brought to you by Nokia.
Nokia.
We're making a comeback.
Not really. If they could make an iPhone or Android as tough as the Nokia brick.
They won't, though, because they want us to keep buying them. They don't want us to lose it in a snowbank and still be able to use it 6 months later.
That's very true.
Yeah. So I'm so quirky.
Yeah. You're so quirky.
So quirky.
Losing 2 phones in a matter of a week.
I know. I really think it was like within 2
and then
weeks.
refinding it. And I think
Pretty
you
much in the
used it
same-
like the whole next like year.
They were kind of like in the same spot. So I lost 2 different cell phones in the same snowbank. So, yep, just a few quirky girl things.
Yeah, it's so quirky.
I'm just like a manic pixie dream girl.
Yeah. Losing phones and important things and then losing your mom's phone.
Yeah, so quirky. Kristen, what are your quirks?
I've got one. You already know about this quirk. I have really stretchy skin.
I do know about that quirk, and you do have really stretchy skin.
It's just like one of my things. It's really stretchy.
Well, you tell the story of you playing with it in class.
I was gonna keep that as a pizza secret.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, we'll
All right.
save that. I've got lots of stretchy skin stories, but one's really funny.
All right, you save that stretchy skin story.
Yeah, it's not really a secret, but it's kind of funny.
All right, save it.
Yeah, I'll save it for pizza. To be continued.
All right.
My quirk number 2. Lately, I'm kind of becoming a big fan of astrology. I have no idea how it works, but it's fun. I like it.
That's fun.
Also, season of Capricorn. I'm a Capricorn sun. So I went to like a group reading. It was really cool. You missed it.
I know.
And basically, you're a Capricorn or the season of Capricorn. It means this is the time of year to get your shit together, I guess.
I'll do it later.
Yeah. Anyway, Don't know how it works, but it's fun. Yep. Capricorns. Right in. Tell us about your Capricorn life. Anyway, number 3, You ready? I have a really hard time prioritizing tasks, and I often end up leaving all the very important things for Sunday night, and then I rush through to get, I start rushing to get everything done off the list, and sometimes end up crying because I can't get everything done because I waited to the last minute. I'm so quirky.
You're so quirky.
Yeah.
You and your shitty butler.
The shittiest of butlers. This one didn't shit on the floor.
Thank God.
He's all right.
Hey, you're so quirky.
Do you ever find that your child's toys just don't have enough arms? Introducing Armstrong, this season's must-have toy. He's all arms and barely any strong. He will literally rip in a day. Get your kid some temporary fun that you can throw in the trash later. Armstrong, he's all arms all the time.
It's time for
Alternative segment.
Alternative.
Pew, 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 pew. Wow.
On this week's alternative segments, we're doing tattoo ideas. I feel like you had a better name for this. That's okay.
No, that's
tattoo.
it. We don't have a creative name.
Tattoo ideas, Kristen.
I've got a tattoo idea. I've been thinking about this one for a while, and you're welcome to steal it. Did I write this with a PH?
I might have written that.
You're welcome to steal it. It's not stealing. This is a communal thing. If you do get this tattoo, let me know because I've been wanting this for a while. I can't commit. All right. Here's my idea. Okay. Imagine this. It's a non-binary mushroom that's very important.
Yep.
With a fat ass, looking over the shoulder so the ass is accentuated. You know. And that's it. That's all I got.
What are they doing looking over the shoulder? Are they doing a ass smack or blowing a kiss?
Maybe ass smack with a kiss. Is that too much?
Flirty.
With a little, and I don't want fingers. I just want little mushroom nubbins. I don't want fingers on the arms with the ass smack. It's just very I'm thinking Pillsbury Doughboy, but a mushroom and non-binary with a fat ass.
All right. I love it. I think you should do it personally.
I'm still kicking around in my noodle, but that's been alternative segments.
Alternative. All right, we are winding our show down.
We are getting to the best part.
Pizza secrets. Tell me your secrets. Pizza secrets.
We've had a last minute change of plans.
Like always.
Changing it up. I am going to tell my stretchy skin story.
Whoa, twist
It's
of the episode.
Because it's a cute little story, and it's not really a secret, but... So, as we've discussed earlier in my quirks, one of my quirks is I got really stretchy skin, and one time I was in, it was like a biochemistry 500 class, so this was when I was in undergrad, but it was a class that a lot of grad students took at the same time, because it was a really good class, biochemistry, whatever. It was an intense class. We had to learn about imagine the Krebs cycle, but on steroids. So that's what we had to learn, basically. And it was interesting, but I sat in the back of the class, which is never a good idea for me. And I sat next to this one kid who diagnosed ADHD, and we just could not pay attention one day. And one day I was playing with my skin, my face skin, and my neck skin specifically, and I was stretching it out and trying to pull it over my chin.
What the fuck?
It didn't work.
How close did you get?
But not even close, but it's still pretty stretchy. And he's like, "Oh, you're close. I wasn't." And we're just, and it's probably 30 people. So it's kind of an intimate setting. And that one other kid was the only person I knew in this class. And I don't know if you noticed, but I made kind of a not so great reputation for myself in the biochemistry setting. None of the professors liked me.
You're a contrarian.
Yeah, that's really what it is. Yeah, man, they really hated me. And so I'm playing with my neck skin, and then I have the only other ADHDer in the class looking at me playing with my neck skin. And the professor is mid, I don't know.
You weren't paying attention. You were playing with your neck skin.
Yeah, I was playing my neck skin. Maybe have a more interesting class than the electron transport chain. And she just goes, "Kristen, She like completely interrupts her PowerPoint. She goes, "Stop playing with your neck skin. It's distracting." And the whole class of like 30 like very intelligent people look at me just like dead scared, like, why would you play with your neck skin?
What does that mean?
And I was really embarrassed, and that's my neck skin story. So
neck skin story?
It's a secret. Not so secret.
Neck skin secret?
I still play with my neck skin sometimes. It's when the moment strikes.
You were just playing with it during the whole story?
Yeah, well, I was reliving it.
Yeah. All right, that's
we've
great.
got a listener pizza secret.
Yes.
Right? Grace, you're going to share us this listener pizza secret?
Oh, yeah. We got one from ADHD-Dante.
Oh, wait. He left we talked about him in the last episode.
Yes. He left us a review.
Yeah.
And then he has written us in a pizza secret. Dante.
So exciting.
I worked with Dante out in Oregon. He was what do we call him out there? EA or Ed Tech? I can't remember. But he worked at the school with me. He's cool shit. He is also an ADHDer, very much so. So we bonded over that.
Dante is the best name.
It's clever.
Ah, so clever. 10 out of 10 for that.
I like it. It's fitting. Dante says, "Hello, fellow flockers." Good start. "I happened to be eating my pickle pizza last night."
Oh my God.
No, you're wrong. You're wrong for that. "And I thought of a fun secret to share with you all. I haven't clipped my toe or fingernails with actual nail clippers." Kristen, you might want to cover your ears for this. But no, actually, he doesn't use the nail clippers, so maybe you'll like this.
Okay.
Let me know if you like this better or worse. Let me read it. All right. "I haven't clipped my toe or fingernails with actual nail clippers in over 10 years.
Oh my God.
I am a lifelong orally fixated person,
like
as told by my pediatrician at age 7. We should investigate that pediatrician.
Yeah, I think don't go to that pediatrician.
Sounds like a creep.
Yeah.
A tooth grinder and an incessant chewer.
Okay.
Which I relate to.
I can relate to that.
I am also orally fixated.
I guess. My pediatrician didn't tell me that, though.
Yeah, he's not a freak.
I feel like that would just like scar me for life if my pediatrician told me at the age of 7, "You're orally fixated."
I'll show you orally fixated. Yeah. "So it's not much of a stretch on the imagination to piece together that I bite my fingernails."
Okay.
Me too. I bite my cuticles.
I do both. I'm a biter.
"However, I treat this ritual very methodically. I do not chew my nails when I'm nervous, anxious, anticipatory, or any other synonym you can think of."
Okay, that's where we differ, Dante.
"When the time..." Jesus, Dante. You're a good writer, but God. "When the time is right and the nails are ripe..." Usually 2 to 4 weeks. Oh my God. I dive in for harvest. Once the nails dive in for harvest. That's
oh my God. Are you getting
beautiful
a glass
imagery
of wine with this? Oh my God.
Dante and I actually bonded over our love of Stephen King, among other things. So you're a very beautiful writer, Dante.
Yeah, you need, yes, you're a very good writer.
Yes, very descriptive.
I'm already scarred.
But I can picture this perfectly. I'm picturing you with like a little basket.
He has it on his Google Calendar.
Yep,
harvest.
Time for harvest. "Once the nails are bitten, I grind away all the jagged bits with my bottom 2 front chompers."
I just want to vomit.
Well, let's see what he does for the toes, because I'm nervous.
Oh, no! What? No! Oh, no!
All right, let's see if he does it or not, if he bites them or not. I'm hoping not. "As for the toes, I wait until they get nice and long, and then once I get out of the shower and the nails are softened up, I basically just find a weak point, exploit it, and pry those juicy, saturated toe blades off with my fingernails." All right. So he's not biting the toenails.
No, but it's just so elegantly and horrifically written. I can't. I know, Lucy, it's bad.
Lucy's upset.
I'm upset.
We're all upset. Dante's loving this. Yep. Dante, this opened up a whole new world for me. I wasn't even thinking of like weird self-care things that I do to use as a pizza secret, but you've opened my eyes and I have so many pizza secrets now that, fall in line with this.
I can't.
Dante goes on to say, "Your show is the shit, and I'm inspired by the organizational prowess displayed by you two ADHD-addled adults in the production of Loaf. Sincerely yours, ADH Dante."
I love this man.
I know. Dante, that was perfect. Beautiful pizza secret, beautifully written. Love the imagery. Love everything about this email.
I'm intrigued. I'm horrified. I'm disgusted in the best way possible.
Yep. Pizza secret.
I feel like I'm going to vomit. I'm glad he's not chomping on his toes.
I wonder if it's a matter of like he doesn't want to chomp on them or it's like just a flexibility
Dante,
thing.
listen to me.
Is it a flexibility problem, Dante?
No.
Can you just not reach them?
No, just listen. If you ever become flexible enough to reach your toes, don't do it.
Try it.
Don't listen to her. Listen to me. Listen to Lucy. She's upset.
Yeah.
I'm upset. Don't chomp on your toes.
I support it, Dante.
That's weird.
Do it.
I don't
do
think.
It.
No.
Put them in your mouth.
No.
Put your toes in your mouth. Put your toes
No,
in your mouth.
no.
Put your
All right. This is how we're ending the show?
All right, yep. With me chanting,
my
put your toes in your
God.
mouth. All right. And on that note, this has been Weirds of a Feather.
Pizza secrets? Oh, my God.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh, God. I feel uneasy.
I feel great. Another great episode on the books.
Yeah. You can follow us on all the socials. So we are on Instagram at Weirds of a Feather. We are on TikTok at Weirds of a Feather. We
are on email.
We have that email, weirdsofeather@gmail.com. You follow us on all the podcasts. Apparently Spotify, you can rate us now. Rate us. Give us 5 stars.
Yeah.
We just got a little notification. They're rating us. Give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts.
Ooh.
Do both.
And remember, if you are going to write into us, please just include your relationship to ADHD.
Yeah.
Just a little blurb about whether you're diagnosed ADHD, a suspected ADHD, or
an ally.
Yeah. And
Do you have a loved one with ADHD?
Or are you just like confused about ADHDers and why we do the weird things we do and you want to learn about us?
Do you have an anxiety disorder you want to talk about?
Oh, yeah.
Be happy to chat.
Yeah. Yeah, we want to talk about all of this, but we just want to make sure that we're, giving the proper information, relating certain behaviors to the right diagnosis. So just, send us a little blurb along with your quirks or pizza secrets or whatever.
And keep sending them in. We love it.
Yes. Thanks for writing
Send in your art. We love people are sending in art now. It's great.
Yes. We recently had someone draw out Armstrong for us. His interpretation of Armstrong.
And
it's amazing.
Boy, is it amazing. Check it out on Instagram. Thank you, Runny Babbitt.
And if anyone else wants to draw their interpretation of any of our inventions or ideas or weird shit we say, we would love to see it.
Yeah.
Please.
If you have any inventions of yourself, any businesses, someone should start, just not us. If you have any quirks, if you have any pizza secrets, or just
toenail secrets.
Oh, God. Yeah. Write us in. We love to hear from you. If you want to write in, but you don't want to share with like the public, also write that. If you just want it to be a pizza secret among friends. I know.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us for episode 10. What a milestone. Guys,
10.
We made it. We made it to 10.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Let's see if we make it to 20. Just kidding.
Yes.
We will. This is our life now.
This is it. This is all I know.
Same.
Yep.
I don't remember a time before podcasting.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
all right.
Talk to you next week.
Talk to you next week. Oh. Oh, that was a good one. That's a weird one.